first and foremost, we don't use the word employees in our organization, right? We address each one of us as a team member. So in any of the communication, we never use the word employee or employer. Whether it is the MD of the organization or whether it is the analyst working with us, he is a team member. So that sets the tone for the ecosystem that we are trying to build.
The addressal itself.
Yes, it is all about our people at the core. Now we have some of the big, banks, we have hedge funds who are our clients, right? Whatever is being done for them are done using two levers. One is our people, second is technology, right? So more than our people putting up words, we believe in technology and data, showing them that what is happening, what is the reality, right? There is no better truth than numbers. There's a very fantastic book by one of the Indian cricketer called Akash Chopra, right? All of us have heard. He's written a book called Numbers Don't Lie, right? It's an interesting read if anyone is interested in analytics and all. So coming back to the point that what are we trying to build as an ecosystem? I think what we want to do is put our people at the core, right? And then everything revolves around them, right? Whether it is, and now the question is how do you define people? Now if you look at the history of workplace ecosystems, initially organizations used to look only at internal people, full-time employees, right? Now the partners, which Shah mentioned, that
right.
Your business performance. See, the fundamental need of a workplace ecosystem is to drive business excellence or business performance, right? Now, if your partners are not part of your ecosystem, right, business performance is not going to happen, right? If technology is not ingrained into your ecosystem, impact will not be there, right? Now, the second part, and thanks to COVID, right? COVID, they say, was the best CTO that the world has ever seen, right? There were CTOs who were dying to do implementations and automations and digitizations. COVID did it in 2 years, right? All the organizations were forced to take the digital route.
CTOs had a very tough time.
Yeah, CTOs had, I would say, tough time. CTOs had a very easy time. All their proposals were passed. All their proposals were passed.
The challenge of achieving.
No questions asked, right? Had COVID not been there, probably a lot of questions would have been asked. But thanks to COVID, all the proposals passed. You look at HR, all processes today are digitized, right? So I think technology, automation, people, and expansive set of people will constitute the ecosystem of the future. And there will always be an element of the unknown, right? We didn't knew about ChatGPT till about 3 months back. Right now, everyone in the organization, everyone across the board is trying to figure out what it is. I'm hearing that there are certain laws and legislations to be passed in Europe and US, which will limit the rule of ChatGPT. Right? So it has gone to that extent. So there will always be
It is not able to detect plagiarism. That is the
So there will always be an unknown, which is actually a good thing for us because you will keep on developing and refining your ecosystem. And I'll borrow something from which Raj said, head, heart and guts, right? Now I'll connect with you because I would love to see this implemented in my organization. But if you look at coming to the skills of the future or what this generation needs to do, right? Their head is in order, I'm 100% sure, Raman and yourself and the rest of the brilliant faculty they will have, you will ingrain a lot of knowledge in them. So head is in order. This is a gutsy generation. They like to take risks, right? We don't need to teach them. So guts are also sorted. I think what this generation needs to work on is the heart. Two things that I feel, and this is my personal opinion, which I find lacking in the workforce of today. One is humility. Second is empathy. And no B school teaches that. Right? Maybe a food for thought for the faculty. If you can ingrain in your people how to be humble, Professor gave a very good example. If he has to meet with Professor Amartya Sen, it is his humbleness that he is walking up to him and meeting. Right? Empathy, again, we talk a lot of emotional quotient, emotional intelligence, right? Empathy is something which really breaks down an org, or lack of empathy which really breaks down the relationship, right? Shyam also mentioned about how business is all about selling relationships, right? Right? If empathy is not there, whether you're talking to your team member, whether you're talking to a client, if you cannot understand what the other person is going through or is actually looking for, no matter how fancy technology you have, how fancy dashboard you build, how fancy presentations you have, it won't work.
Just resonating with you, I think very recently we had a beginning of the semester we had a review of our curriculum of B2B. When the reviewer had come, the reviewer was the CEO of Force Motors. He said that, okay, fine, all things said and done. How do you factor humility in your course? I think this resonating what you has exactly said.
Humility, being humble is like common sense, which is very, very
Absolutely.
uncommon. As an organization, we have really differentiated ourselves from a competition per se, but yeah, we do leverage it extensively. One thing that we've kind of started doing recently, we've not yet mastered it, but we are like going there, is that any decision that is being taken in the organization has to be backed by data. Whether it is implementation of a new system, whether it is onboarding a new client,
What about gut feeling?
or whether it is certain people related decisions, like about performance, about somebody exiting or somebody joining, right? Data has to be there. See, at the end of the day, certain decisions will be taken by heart, or your guts will take over, right? But it has to be backed by data. That gives you confidence, right? And you don't regret it. Even if the decision will go wrong, you don't regret it. But this is something that we've started doing over the last 6 odd months, that whatever we do in an organization, whatever decision we take, right, there has to be a data representation of it. Why are we doing it? This is the comparator, this is the benefit that we get out of it, right? So these are small things that we've taken, small steps we are taking, but I think data is all around us, right? HR as a function, I can very confidently say, is a data mine, right? The day you make a call to a candidate, your data gathering starts. The day somebody leaves, you still get data out of it, right? Now, if data is not analyzed properly, and that is where your analytical tools and your digitalization and tech tools come into play, if it is not done in the right sense of it, it's noise. It's useless, it's not going to be of any benefit. The key thing here is that how do you look at data today? Whether it is people, whether it is org data, whether it is a competition data, whether it's a market benchmarking, whatever data set you have, what do you make out of it? What insights do you draw? And that is where I think the scale of a data analyst or a business analyst comes in. Right? These are some of the things that we are leveraging. Great. With them, and at various levels of interaction, we ensure that there is sufficient alignment. Like at the time of hiring, at the time of performance checks, we do ensure that there is alignment. What extra we do is we ensure that each one of us, each team member, knows the importance of the work that they are doing. So if I am preparing a dashboard, I should know that how this dashboard is fitting in the overall scheme of things. So that role clarity, that work clarity is something that we are extremely passionate about. Another thing that we do is that, classical approach towards purpose is that how well an individual can align with the purpose of an organization, right? We just flip it around. What organization can do for that individual's growth? So there's a professional journey, and then there's somebody's personal growth involved. So we do also cater into how you can become a better person by being at Oxane. Not just a better professional, but how you can become a better person. Can we facilitate your growth or in a domain which probably is not linked to the organization, right? Can you become a better person outside the organization by working at Oxane? Now, this is something that we continuously question our managers. We continuously question all the leaders. Right? Why are we not thinking about the fact that what we can do for an individual rather than a classical approach that, okay, you're part of an organization, these are the vision, values, purpose, right? This is how you're going to work, this is your job description.
Continuously making people accountable on the same.
Accountability is one thing,
Yes.
right? It's the clarity that, if I'm part of, let's say, an administration team, right? I'm slightly moving away from a core business model, right? But that admin person should know that his role is equally important in driving the business. He is doing or she is doing something which is extremely critical for the organization so that a business deal gets cracked. That level of clarity is something that we are running for. So for me, that is the real purpose, where every individual knows whatever he or she is doing, how does it fit, align with the overall values, purpose of the organization. He used the word that the only thing that can not change is the will, right? So will to excel, will to learn. We spoke of learning agility, right?
I think that is one word which actually
It
encompasses
covers everything. I mean,
Yeah.
all skills will fall under that will part, right? I mean, look at the audience sitting here. They've been so adaptive, listening to, 6 of us waiting here since 11 o'clock, right? And this is where I think Mashmi was saying that don't wait for a book. This is a skill that you've just demonstrated, right? Calls for a big round of applause for all of you. And one more thing which you should like to mention in your interviews: how have you coped with failures? Don't hide your failures. Failures are the best learning opportunities, right? Nobody learns from success, by the way. Everybody learns from a failure. The day you get rejected in an interview, you will do the next interview better, right? Don't hide your failures, be proud of them, learn from them. And as a recruiter, I can tell you, and Shyam also said that, he looks at how people cope with certain things. I look at people, how have they coped up with failures? If somebody has had a bad marriage or a bad relationship, how has that person come out of it? That for me is a strong resilience or emotionally strong individual, right? So that is where the world is going to. We talk of machine learning, artificial intelligence, we talk of automation, and whenever something new comes up, there is always a thought that it will take away certain jobs, right? And I think somebody was giving the example, or I was reading somewhere that, when typewriter got replaced with computers, right? I think Raman sir was also talking about it, right? It generated more jobs rather than cutting down jobs, right? So any new invention or any new thing that comes out, right, should be taken in a way to complement human skills, right? The human touch will always be there. You cannot replace it. It is not going to be in an ideal scenario, right? What technologies, what chat GPTs, bots, whatever we use, right? They are supposed to complement, they are supposed to make the processes more efficient and more effective, right? That's their purpose. And for that purpose, they've been developed and designed and, put it into the frameworks. It is not to replace somebody, but having said that, right, whenever a new technology comes, the onus is not just on the technology, but also on the person using it. The person has to upskill. The person has to start using the power of that technology, right? So it's a dual game. Technology is there to support you, to complement your skills. As an individual, as a professional, whether it is HR, admin, finance, whatever domain you're working on, right? You need to continuously look at upskilling yourself. You need to move on that, I have done this skill is now obsolete, I need to learn something new, right? So if these two things happen, we are all safe. Space and banking and income space is having access to capital, right? And one of the good startups that I have seen is called social entrepreneurship. It's in the line of that, where we don't talk of big VC funding of $200 million, those kind of checks being written. You can actually be a part of that startup with as low as 5,000 rupees, So by this way of social entrepreneurship, everything is digitalized, everything is automated, everything is tech driven. Sitting in Pune, you can help a small weaver who's based out of Bareilly, who's working on, let's say, a uniform contract with an amount as low as, let's say, 10,000. You become an entrepreneur, that person raises capital for the next 3 months, right? There is an organization which is working towards it, right? If you can connect with me on LinkedIn, especially, I can guide you there. But how they're doing is they're leveraging social media, they're leveraging technology to make capital accessible to people who normally don't have access to capital. So that is one way in which income disparity among the stratas of society is being reduced to a large extent, not a large extent, to some extent.